So we'll go ahead and get into the PowerPoint a little bit later. I've got a worksheet for you guys that we're going to do for the first few minutes. So the standard we're going to be talking about today is that I'm going to have you analyze the domestic and international impact of the Cold War on the United States. And what I want you to be able to leave here today telling me is the factors that influence the decision by the United States to intervene in Asia. I know Coach Riggins is going to want to get into get you guys into Russia, which is generally what we see when we're talking about the Cold War. So my focus today is going to be on Asia. So I'm going to go ahead and hand out a worksheet to each of you. Actually, could you help me hand these up to take time?
Yeah.
So we're going to take about 2 or 3 minutes. You guys can work in groups to work on the first page of the worksheet. At the bottom there's going to be a question. I'm going to want you guys to read. Or did you get all the worksheets handed out here? Okay. So at the bottom of the first page there's going to be a question that I want you to answer after reading the first couple of paragraphs on there. The timeline that's about halfway up is going to be something that you put together throughout the 2 pages. The information is on both sides that you'll need to fill that in with. So go ahead, get into groups if you want, and or do you guys have all that? No.
I got a group.
Yes, go ahead and get in groups, read the prompts, answer the question, and then in about 2 or 3 minutes we'll come back. Gain control of China. That's the question on the first page. You can just throw out ideas. How did the communists actually gain control of China?
The Chinese leader, he supported many of the Chinese peasants.
Exactly. The thing about communism is that it's all about the lower class. Actually, and I'll get into it with the slide, but I'm sorry?
Isn't it a classless society?
Communism is a classless society, but it is based around the suffering of the lower class. And that is the basis for the elimination of the class system. But the peasants were such a large percentage of the population, and Chiang Kai-shek, who was the leader of, and I've got a bunch of acronyms here that I'll be using in the presentation. He was the leader, Chiang Kai-shek was the leader of the Nationalist Party, the Kuomintang, the KMT. And he alienated these peasants. And so since they were such a large percentage of the population, he was able to use them to overrun Chiang Kai-shek. So are we good on the first page?
I guess.
Yeah, so he got the support of the peasants. So now on the second page, I'm sorry?
Which, was that a chain dude or no?
Chiang Kai-shek was defeated, is eventually defeated by Mao Zedong. Mao was the one who got the peasants on his side.
So
That's why he won.
The answer
Yes.
was he got support of the peasants.
He had the support of the peasants. He had the support of the people. Okay, now go ahead and turn to the second page, and this gets into the Korean War. This one is a little bit longer, but go ahead and finish, read through that and answer question number 2. It'll take another couple of minutes for that. Sort of half opinion based, but it's half opinion based, half factual. I mean, you can have your own opinions on what was actually gained by the Korean War. But the stated goal, yeah, the question is more asking for the stated goal of the Korean War. Right.
Do you want us to write both things in the timeline for 1951?
Yeah. Keep your timeline up to date.
So, okay.
Yeah, so 1949 should be filled in by now.
Yeah, 1951 has 2 different, something happened like twice in 1951, one in January and one in June, so.
You can fit either one. Either one is correct.
Sometimes things happen the same year, dude.
Oh, I know that now, baby.
I bet you do.
And if you finish with the second question, go ahead and do the skill builder at the bottom of the page. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, I apologize. Number 2, what was gained by the Korean War should be done first. I should have specified. you guys about another minute or so, and then we'll come back. Sorry. Oh, do you need this right now? I'm wondering, I may or may not need this later. Oh, just read the whole thing?
Yeah, I forgot all that back in
Independent.
there.
I think I should be okay with that.
Keep the high one up there anyway.
It's only up there for one more, right?
Did you say Korean? So I didn't.
So what y'all put for number
So,
2 on
we
school?
already did, yeah, did.
What's up?
Number two?
Read the quote.
For the school?
I was looking at number two,
Well, I'm confused on what I was.
It's prima donna brass hat.
so are we talking about all Korean War or just, or when it says what is going on?
Never heard
in Korea?
someone
I
say
said-
prima donna.
Yeah, I've heard of that,
That's not good.
Independence was declared before the war. That was actually part of the reason for it, is because prior to the Korean War, North and South Korea was just one unified Korea. So independence is partially what leads to the war. But,
Oh.
yeah, so that happens prior. Okay, so we'll go ahead and finish this up. All right, so after reading this section on the Korean War, what was gained, factually first, what was gained by the Korean War?
Communism was contained.
Communism was contained, that's one.
I don't feel like that was a game though, because I mean,
No.
because it started out contained, so how would it be
It didn't
a
spread.
game? It wasn't really a game, it was so much as it stayed the same, it wasn't a game.
It's a good point.
South Korea was able to stay democracy instead of.
No, I see what you're saying, I'm saying, but they didn't technically game.
Yeah, but technically, but it's like.
Right,
I see what you're
so
saying.
you both make good points. On the one hand, communism was stopped from spreading,
Oh, I guess-
right? It didn't go any farther than the 38th parallel at the end of the conflict. However, the goal was to sort of get North Korea out of the picture. The United States wanted a unified Korea, but under the rule of the South Korean leadership. So in that respect, they both failed and accomplished their goal. Because ultimately, South Korea is still here today, so obviously we partially did our job.
We
But
won
not
while
entirely.
losing.
I'm sorry?
We won while losing.
We won, yeah, militarily it was sort of a standstill, a minor defeat, but politically it was a big victory for the Western powers. Okay, so are we good on this? We can come back to the skill builder later at the end of the day if we've got time. Okay. So, couple of acronyms up here for you. The presentation that I've prepared is going to use some of these interchangeably. So, China is going to be referred to in two ways. Either I will be calling it the Republic of China, or the ROC, or I will be calling it the People's Republic of China, the PRC. The difference here is the ROC, the Republic of China, was the nationalist government. And the People's Republic of China that we know today is the communist government. So just something to keep in mind. The two parties that we talk about, and they relate respectively to each of these, each of the Chinas up here. The KMT are the nationalists, led by Chiang Kai-shek, right? And then the CPC, the Chinese Communist Party, is led by